public safety. And we just got this. This is a statement from Astroworld. It says, in part, our hearts are with the Astroworld Festival family tonight, especially those we lost and their loved ones. It goes on to say that Astroworld management is cooperating with Houston authorities. As for those sent to the hospital, as we said, they ranged in age, the youngest, just 10. Theo?
All right, Phil, thank you. Joining us now is Houston Fire Chief Samuel Peña. Chief, thank you for your time this morning. I know it is a busy and sad morning there in Houston. You are in your car because you just left the reunification facility, and it must have been such a chaotic scene when your crews arrived and started reaching the victims. What was that like?
So the incident actually occurred when we determined it was a mass casualty incident. It occurred around 9:30 Central Time. And the venue organizer had its own security. They had their own medical components on scene. They actually had a type of field hospital that was set up there ahead of time to be able to treat.
What's good, YouTube family? Travis Scott is in a nightmare situation of his life right now. No one could imagine this situation or think of even being in a situation like this, but unfortunately for the Houston rapper, Travis Scott was at a festival that he normally hosts at his Astroworld festivals, you know what I mean? And in that festival, a whole lot happened, a whole lot transpired. Now, if you don't know, I need you guys to hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and like, share, and subscribe, and let's start the show the right way. I'm your God Bless One. Thank you for watching another episode of I Smoke Hip Hop Live. Let's pay these bills. So your boy Travis Scott got in a situation that left over 8 people dead, over 11 people in cardiac arrest, and several other people going through life-fighting surgeries right now to sustain life. And before I get on my commentary, you feel me, let me at least start the show right now and let's hear what happened and what transpired.
People are dead and scores injured at a sold-out music festival in Houston on its opening night.
Rapper Travis Scott was on stage at the time when the crowd suddenly surged and he called for help. Now, in a moment, you're going to hear from the Houston Fire Chief here on GMA. But first, ABC's Phil Lipoff is here with the latest. Phil, good morning.
Gio, good morning to you. And this morning, that festival is canceled after that deadly and horrific night you all have just described. Travis Scott, the festival founder, was on stage, 9 o'clock, performing, when all of a sudden, that crowd surged. Overnight, chaos at a music festival in Houston turned deadly. Police say a crowd surge left hundreds injured, at least 17 hospitalized, and 8 people dead.
The crowd began to compress towards the front of the stage, okay? And that caused some panic.
According to police, of the 17 people hospitalized, 11 were in cardiac arrest.
We were definitely getting pushed very aggressively, and it was intense. It was intense.
The incident took place at the 3rd annual Astroworld Festival, headlined by Houston native Travis Scott. A live stream of the event showing Scott stopping his 75-minute performance several times when he spotted fans in distress in the crowd.
We need somebody to help him. Somebody passed out right here.
We were seeing people getting pulled out of the crowd, and we would see some of these people unconscious.
Authorities setting up a reunification center for families at a nearby hotel and still trying to identify victims, some as young as 10 years old. And this video, captured during the day on Friday, shows hundreds of people rushing checkpoints and destroying security property at the entrance. This morning, officials are searching for answers about what caused the crowd rush.
Nobody could dream of this, but we're here, and I think it's very important that none of us speculate.
Authorities tell us Live Nation, the concert organizer, agreed to end.
Started like pulsating back and.
I heard, but we saw a lot of people like pass out and just get injured.
So describe it for me. Tell me where you guys were at, and then what started happening.
Well, like before it even started, like people were like shoving and like pushing. And you could tell like, oh, this is gonna get crazy. And I think Don Toliver was like the first set that I was like, yo, like I'm kind of scared for my life at this moment. And then obviously like Travis was at like another stage, and then I was, oh man, there were just so many people there. It felt like a million like people just like passing out and like you could barely catch your breath.
So the guy over there was telling us like the crowd started like pulsating back and forth, and he started getting feeling like a weird vibe or something.
Yeah.
And then stuff just like erupted. So tell me about that.
Yeah, it just like it was kind of like people would push forward, and then like the people at the fence, you know, they didn't want to get pushed all the way squished, and so they'd push back, and so you just kind of like moving back and forth, and then people would start moshing, you know, they open up a circle, and then people start pushing back and forth, and so like a lot of people don't want to do that, but there's also a lot of people that want to mosh, so you know people want to stay because it's Travis, that's like one of their favorite artists, but then you know they get hurt or injured, and then you see like the people, the medical team trying to like help people out. And then there's also a lot of people that, you know, were being ignorant and just like stomping and like not caring about the people that fell down. And so there's just a lot of both sides of that.
So tell me, did you guys see people on the ground and people actually fall out?
Yeah, we were like we tried helping people.
Tell me about that.
I mean, there was a person that fell and everyone was trying to pick him up, but the crowd was too tight. Yeah, kind of like trying to pick him up, and so we had to push people away, and then we were like the three of us would grab him up at once because they couldn't get up themselves.
Yeah, it was just a mess. Just in general, everybody would, somebody fell, they're like, try and push, open, no, and then he would just come on. It was like, I don't know how to describe it. I guess the best way to describe it, like, you know the sardines from SpongeBob when they're going, jumping, that's what it felt like the whole time. Like the whole time, everyone was just going down, people were getting trampled. There was a couple times where we fell, but it wasn't anything serious compared to other people. Like,
50,000 people, including Kylie and Kendall Jenner. During a press conference overnight, authorities said that just after 9 p.m. local time, the crowd, quote, began.
I'm from Toronto, but I got Houston tatted on me because it's always been my home, so I appreciate you having me. I love y'all. Astroworld Fest, there's nothing like it. Make some motherfucking noise for John!
I think let's do it. It's fucking beautiful. I see you all the way in the back. There's like so much
time. And hunt with them. The reality star shared a photo of the toddler's Astroworld trailer. According to the Associated Press, officials described the incident as, quote, a surge of the crowd while the 29-year-old rapper was on stage.
Hey, tell him to over here. Hey, y'all sit over here.
rapper Travis Scott, who founded the festival and is from Houston, stopped several times during his 75-minute set. The Astroworld Festival was launched 3 years ago as a tribute to a popular theme park in the Texan city of Houston and has grown in popularity since. Last year's event was cancelled because of COVID, so all 50,000 tickets for this were snapped up in the space of an hour when they went on sale in May. The rapper Travis Scott, who founded the festival and is from Houston, stopped several times during his 75-minute set when he spotted fans in distress.
We need somebody to help him. Somebody pass out right here. Somebody pass out right here. Hold on, don't touch him, don't touch him. Everybody just back up. Security, somebody help jump in real quick, keep going.
But panic later set in and the crowd surged towards the front of the stage. It's not yet known what caused the incident.
My job as a chief of police is to make sure that we find out what happened. We will treat it as an investigation because we don't know. I have investigators out here on the scene. I'm sending investigators to the homes, to the hospitals, because we just don't know. And we will find out.
The on-site medical team was quickly overwhelmed by hundreds of casualties. Emergency vehicles trying to access the most seriously injured appeared to be hindered by revelers, unaware of what was unfolding.
Once we started having the mass casualty incident where people were started having CPR on several people, and it happened all at once. Suddenly we had several people down on the ground experience some type of cardiac arrest or some type of medical episode. And so we immediately started doing CPR and moving people right then.
Earlier in the day, hundreds of people had rushed the perimeter fence to gain access. The second and final day of the event has now been cancelled as police begin their investigation. Enda Brady, Sky News.
I'm not aware of any incident of this kind that has taken place at any one of our special events, either on the county side, on the city side, pretty much in the last, I would imagine the last 40 years, where anybody has lost life. Now, we've had events where there may have been a crowd rush or somebody had to be ejected or maybe somebody has been injured, but nothing of this magnitude that any of us can recall, and certainly that I can recall, that is taking place in this city. This incident is being thoroughly investigated and reviewed thoroughly. It is important for us to ascertain from last night what took place, what happened, that Live Nation had that was providing security at this particular facility. So there are a lot of, let me just say to you, there are a lot of unanswered questions. And over the next several days, several weeks, could be even longer, we'll take an in-depth look at everything that took place, why it took place, what steps we can do moving forward to mitigate an incident of this kind from taking place at any.
Circumstances coming together that couldn't possibly have been avoided. But until we determine that, I will ask the tough questions, and that's what I've spent the morning doing. What I know so far is that Live Nation and Astroworld put together plans for this event, a security plan, a site plan, that they were at the table with City of Houston.
We do have a report of a security officer, according to the medical staff that was out and treated him last night, that he was reaching over to restrain or grab a citizen, and he felt a prick in his neck. When he was examined, he went unconscious. They administered Narcan. He was revived, and the medical staff did notice a prick that was similar to a prick that you would get if somebody's trying to inject. That is one part of it. The other thing that's very important, there were some individuals that were trampled, and we want to be respectful of that, but we just ask that y'all give us time to do a proper investigation. Live Nation has stated from the very beginning that they would cooperate. They're going to give us the video sometime this evening. I spoke to my commander in homicide. So we're waiting to get that. That's going to help us. But
from the Houston Fire Department to ensure that we were monitoring the progress and the event. From the time, as Mayor mentioned, from the time that the incident started.